friends, welcome back to my channel, Books Past Bedtime. Today we're going to be doing my February plan with me, but first I am starting off by lighting my candle. This is a Bath & Body Works Iced Vanilla Woods candle. It smells amazing, and ignore my shaky hands. Good news is I'm not a surgeon, so no worries there. And before we jump into planning February, we are going to do a flip through of my January pages. So we start out with my cover page and 2021 goals, then have my January TBR and reading schedule. Next is my wrap-up and page tracker pages. When I filmed this, I still had a week left of January, so that's why some of these spreads aren't quite completed yet. The next spreads are my spread for Invisible Girl, which was the Page Turner book club pick for January, and then I made a spread for the Bookworms New Year's Readathon. I transposed the bingo board and ended up not getting a bingo in January, so that's fun. January is a bit of an overwhelming month for me, so I'm trying not to be too hard on myself. Next is my habit tracker and monthly to-do list, and then we just go into some weekly spreads. And that's all for January, so now let's jump into planning February. So for February, I went for a basic heart theme because it's easy and I'm lazy. I started with writing February in cursive in the middle of the cover page, created a wreath around the title, and doodled some heart streamers. I decided I wanted a quote page on the other side, and what better source material to draw a quote from for February than Taylor Swift's album Lover. This is a quote from the song Daylight, which says, "I just think that you are what you love." And I thought that was very fitting for my own personal February vibes, and I quite like how it turned out. To spice it up a little bit, I just drew a heart in the background. This isn't the prettiest quote/title page combo I've ever done, but it's cute enough. And after I outlined everything in black, I added some color. I really like the colors I decided to use. I have two different shades of pink and a light purple, and I just really love how they look together. Okay, now let's start my February TBR and reading schedule pages. I really don't change much with these spreads from month to month, so these will probably look pretty familiar to you guys. On the February TBR spread, I basically just make a list of the books I want to read that month. This month I have two categories of books for book clubs/readathons and books for videos. This list might look a little shorter than usual, and that's because I got very overwhelmed in January with my reading and committed myself to way too many things. So I really needed a chiller February, so I only put 8 books on my TBR and reduced the average number of pages I needed to read a day quite significantly. Because I'm working full time now, it's just unrealistic for me to expect myself to read 200 pages a day, so I have cut it back to 100 pages a day, which still sounds like a lot, but split up the way that it is, I think it will be manageable. But anyway, as usual, my February TBR list includes the page count of each book as well as a 2-letter acronym to represent each book in my reading schedule. The reading schedule is the same format as always. I list each day of the month down the side of the page and assign the number of pages of each book I'm going to read per day. This month, as I said, my goal is about 100 pages a day, and I broke that down further to 50 pages of a physical book a day and 50 pages of an audiobook a day. So the left-hand column is the physical book I'm going to be working on that particular day, and the right-hand column is the audiobook I'm planning to work on that day. I think splitting it up this way will encourage me to get through more books, but in a more manageable way than last month, so I'll keep you updated and let you know how it goes. Also, please ignore the way that I just made up my own acronyms as I made my schedule and totally just forgot what I had designated on my TBR page. Don't know what the heck I was doing, but anyway. Let's move on to my wrap-up and page tracker spreads. These are, surprise surprise, also the same as previous months. I couldn't find my ruler for some reason, so yes, I am using a Book of the Month bookmark as my straight edge. Also, shameless plug, if you don't already have Book of the Month, there is a code down in my description as always, where you can get your first book for just $5. But that aside, I just created a chart for my monthly wrap-up. It only has 3 columns because I pretty much track everything else on a spreadsheet, but I do like to have a column for the dates I read the book, for the title of the book, and for my rating, as it's just a nice thing to reference throughout the month. I also used the colors from my color scheme and highlighted every other line for aesthetic purposes. And then on the other side of the page, I drew my typical line graph for tracking my pages read per day. Down the vertical axis are the days of the month, and along the horizontal axis, I have the page count from 0 to 400. I really love tracking the pages I read each day. I think it's such an interesting stat to look at, and this is always one of my favorite spreads at the end of each month. And on to the next spreads. On the left-hand page, I'm creating my spread for my book club pick for February. The patron in our book club is reading The Devil in the Dark Water by Stuart Turton for February, so I created a spread just dedicated to that book because I like to have a place to jot down my thoughts throughout the month while I'm reading. It also helps me remember the book better and organize my thoughts so I can best participate in those book club discussions. And then on the opposite page, I am creating my habit tracker. This is pretty much the same as the last few months. It really works well for me, so I'm not planning to change it. Although this month I am hoping to actually do more of my habits each day because I was kind of slacking in January, not gonna lie. Basically, I just created a chart with the days of the month along the horizontal axis and the tasks I wanted to do each day along the vertical axis. Then, as I complete each task throughout the day, I just put a little dot in the corresponding box to check it off. I really do like having this habit tracker because it saves me room in my weekly spreads and it saves me time because I no longer write out all of these tasks every single day over and over again on my to-do lists. So the next spread is a new spread this month. I had an extra page, so I decided I wanted to make a spread of what an ideal day would look like for me. As I mentioned earlier, I am now working a 9-to-5 job and I'm trying to adjust and still do everything I want to do. So this is what I would want a day to look like where I am working 9 to 5. I took the time to write out my morning and evening routines as well as what I would ideally like to do each hour of the day from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. And this is how it turned out. I really would like to strive to make my days look like this because I think it would be possible for me to make time to work out, read, and work on this YouTube channel as well as work my 9-to-5 job. So hopefully this is a good page for me to reference throughout the month to remind me of what I want my life to look like. Then on the opposite page, I'm going to write my monthly to-do list. January wasn't over when I filmed this, so I didn't have it filled out, but I will in the future. And so those are all of my February spreads. Now let's do the final flip through. So of course we have our title and quote pages, our TBR and reading schedule, our wrap-up and page tracker spreads, the spreads for the Devil and the Dark Water, as well as my habit tracker spread, and finally my ideal day and my monthly to-do list spread. So that's going to be it for me today. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch my video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you want to spend more time hanging out with me. And also be sure to check out the description for any relevant links, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!